Well, now we're going to take a look at rolling this pasta. It's been resting for a number of minutes, about 20 minutes. We're going to take it, and we'll show you two different ways. We'll show you the stacked layered pasta of different colors for stripes, and then we'll just show you plain pasta as well. So we have a bit of semolina that we can use to dust, and we'll just dust the rolling pin a little bit. And then Gussie's just going to flatten this out so it's about a centimeter thick or so, and make it a rectangle. And so do that with all three. That's pretty good. And we'll do another one. And we're just going to shape that so all three of them are going to end up being the same size. And put a small amount of water on two of them, and then stack them. So you don't want water on the top. And you can just stack that together, press it down a wee bit, and wrap it up again for a couple of minutes, just to allow that water to act as glue. In the meantime, we'll show you how to roll the pasta if you don't have a machine. So if the dough is sticking to your pin, you need to add some flour. If the dough is tearing, then you probably made it a wee bit too dry. So this has to be rolled quite thin. And we need to make it so that it can fit our tortellinis afterwards. We're going to make some tortellini. So if we want something about a 3-inch diameter size, then we need to make sure that this dough is going to be big enough. That's why Leslie's rolling long way and then width ways. After a while, your arms might get a bit sore, but the dough is going to tell you it needs a rest. So the way it's going to tell you is it's going to start to shrink as you roll it. If that's the case, set it aside, put a piece of plastic wrap on top of it, give it 5 minutes while you're rolling out another piece of dough. Then you can come back afterwards, after that 5 minutes, and roll it out again, and just let it rest. You need this about 3 millimeters thick. If that's not coming out totally square for you, dust off the excess of flour, fold the ends in, like this, and roll it out again. Now you'll start to get it more square. But you can see it's now retracting on itself because it's been rolled enough and it just needs to rest for a couple of minutes. Just grab that side. Yeah. And take all the air out so it's going to stay moist. We're now ready to do our final roll, just with that 5 minutes of resting. We're going to just check for the size and make sure that our width is good. And if the width is good, we don't need to go wider this way. We just need to make it longer. So Leslie will take a minute with that. And again, if it's sticking, just a small amount of semolina on top, and that will prevent it from sticking. So we've got our striped pasta. They're sandwiched together. They're sticking for the most part. We can put a little bit of pressure with a rolling pin, and then we can slice them this way, about a centimeter thick, and lay that on our floured board and roll out. And we really only need to roll the one way unless we want this to be significantly wider. And always keep in mind the size of your pin, because now we can't fold it again. Otherwise our lines will be all messed up. If they happen to separate like this, you might just have to overlap them and apply a small amount of pressure. I'll just do the first one, and then I'll get Leslie and Noor to continue with the rest of them. So it just takes a little bit of work to get the right width, and then you can get the length. Some people will make this striped pasta by rolling out a sheet of plain and then cutting a sheet of another color and laying them on top and then rolling that one on top of the other. this way they're colored all the way through, both sides. So it just takes a minute. Apply a bit of pressure, and if it's not sticking, apply a small amount of water, and that will allow them to stick a bit better. This makes a nice presentation when we're doing our pasta. So we'll be making cannelloni, tortellini, and probably some ravioli as well. The same principles apply though. If it's not working out for you rolling, let it rest for a minute. If we're going to use a pasta machine, we can just take our dough and roll it out a little bit thinner, just so it's not so much hard work on the machine. Once we have it at this consistency, Nora can show us how to crank this through. So we want to get this on number 1 first. Then we're going to take it like this and fold it into 3. Turn it at a 90-degree angle, pinch the end so it's a little bit easier to go through, and she can crank it again. Now we're starting to get nice straight sides. Now we can adjust, press this down, adjust by 1, she can keep cranking through. If it starts to get too sticky, have a little bit of dusting flour on your table. You can wipe both sides on the table and get that so it's going to go through the machine a lot easier. And each time you reduce by 1. Continue rolling the dough until it's about 2 millimeters in thickness. It's nice and pliable, and you can see the green stripes going through there from the spinach. So that'll make a really great looking tortellini.